What up, YouTube? I'm back with another episode of One Piece, and it was a great episode, man. I really liked the last two episodes and the backstory that we got of how the Akazaya 9 got together. One of the things that I want to say before I talk about this week's episode is the characters that we've seen so far, because I haven't talked about that. I didn't do a review for last week's episode, but one of the things that I want to say is that it was cool to see Otsuru, Kinemon's future wife. She looks a lot different than she does in the present, but it's still cool to see her. We saw Old Man Iogoro, obviously. He looks a lot different in his prime. It's kind of funny to me in animes, when an old man gets old, he gets shorter and everything, so that's kind of funny. And we got to see a lot of other characters, like obviously Kinemon, he looks a lot different. So I really liked how we're seeing characters that we're seeing right now in the present in this arc, when they were younger. So I thought it was pretty cool to see all of that. Something else that I didn't get the chance to talk about, since I didn't do a review last week, is that we know why Luffy and the others weren't able to rendezvous with the Akazaya 9, and the reason for that is because Orochi and his troops were able to destroy the bridges and everything, the ships, so that they couldn't rendezvous together. So yeah. Now let's talk about this week's episode, because at the beginning we saw how the big white pig was able to eat Otsuru, Kinemon's future wife, and at some point I really thought that maybe it wasn't really his future wife because she was eaten, but I should have remembered that there isn't a lot of characters that are dying, in the One Piece universe, so she wasn't really dead. We saw how that happened at the end of the episode, but something that I really liked about these flashbacks is seeing the relationship that these characters had, in the past, compared to what they have in the present, and just seeing Utsuru and Kinemon's relationship was pretty cool. We saw their chemistry from the beginning, and I really like that they showed us that in this week's episode. Obviously, Kinemon was pretty mad at the white pig, because it ate the love of his life, and he was ready to fight it. We saw how he just went at it with the white pig. Obviously, the white pig won at the end of the day because Kinemon wasn't that strong at that time, and the white pig was big as hell, so he had the advantage. But yeah, man, he did everything, to take back, the love of his life, and we didn't get to see a lot of that, their relationship in the present, because Kinemon has a mission right now, and it's to take back the Wano kingdom, so we haven't seen them together. But yeah, man, like I said, I really like their relationship and how they showed us how they were in the past. We learned a lot about Oden's character in the last two episodes, which I really like because we hadn't gotten a lot of him in this arc, and he's one of the main characters in this arc, even though he's dead. But we learned a lot about him, and one of the things that we learned is that he took the fall for Kinemon for what he did with the white pig. He's the reason why the white pig was in the capital, because he had the baby. So what Oden did is took the fall and then went ham against the big white pigs, which was amazing. We saw how Oden used his two swords. Obviously Zoro has one of them in the present, but it was pretty cool to see him use them in the past, with his haki, his ornament haki, which was amazing. It looks pretty cool. And then there was that animation, I think it's called Sakuga or something like that. It was just beautiful how they did that animation, of Oden slashing the big white pig. It was just amazing, an amazing sight to see. I didn't think that we would get that in this week's episode, but we actually got that. So amazing stuff by the animation crew. They did an amazing job, and they've done an amazing job throughout the Wano arc, so bravo to them. It's been amazing. Even the animation for the pig, going at Oden was great. They did a really good job. Like I said, it was amazing. But yeah, man, just seeing Oden slash the pig like that with his two legendary sword, we saw how one of them is really strong. We saw how, Zoro was struggling to, use one of them, but Oden has two of them like that. So I'm guessing that maybe at that point in time he's actually stronger than Zoro is right now. So That's crazy, but it's pretty cool that we got to see how strong, Oden can be. And it kind of, baffles me that he was defeated, later on in this arc, when Orochi and Kaido took over Wano. Obviously, Kaido is one of the four emperors, so he's probably the one that defeated Oden. I think that's what they said, at least in the past. But yeah, man, he's really, really strong. He killed, the pig, which I don't know how to feel about that. The pig just wanted his baby back, but Oden did what he had to do. Obviously, at the end of the day, nobody died during the attack. Even the people that was in the white pig, stomach, they were all alive. Oda is doing that for a reason. I don't know why he doesn't want to kill a lot of characters in his series, but that's what he do. So Otsuru was all right. It was kind of cool to see Otsuru and Kinemon hug each other after what happened, just showing how the relationship has evolved ever since last week's episode. So it was great, man. All that scene with Oden and how he slashed the pig, and even the scene after that where everyone was okay, I really liked it a lot. It was great. The attack that Oden used on the white pig was called Paradise Waterfall, which is a pretty cool name for the attack that he used. After that, we got to see how Kinemon and Denjiro joined Oden on his journey, which is pretty cool because we haven't seen Denjiro yet, in the future, or the present, I should say. We haven't seen him yet. We've seen all of the Akazaya 9 except him, I think. So it's pretty cool that we get to see him, in the past. It's the first time that we got an idea of how he looks like, so that's pretty cool. Another little something that I didn't get a chance to talk about since I didn't do a review for last week's episode was the new mid-episode transitions that we got. They're pretty awesome. I really like them a lot. I like them better than the ones that we've been getting since the Wano arc has started. I just think that they're pretty cool. They're colorful and everything. I really like them a lot. They're awesome. Anyway, I really liked the rest of the episode because we got to meet some of the characters that we've already met in the present, but in the past, and what their role were in the past. One of them was Kurozumi Orochi, and obviously he's the emperor of Wano right now, but in the past, he was just a servant, and he already seemed pretty fishy, in the past. He said that Oden was the one that stole the money and destroyed, the room that they were in, and I think he was already plotting about what he was gonna do in the future, so obviously we can't trust him, but I think he was already plotting about what he was gonna do. So I thought it was pretty cool to see, and I'm guessing that they'll show us how he got all that power at the end of the day, how he achieved his goal. After that, we got to meet almost all of the Akazaya 9. The first one was Izo Kikonojo. She's actually the woman that we see in the future. At the time was a man, so we still don't know how she became a woman, so I'm guessing that we'll learn that maybe, in the next few episodes. She was with her little brother. I'm not sure how important her little brother is, because we didn't get his name, so I'm guessing that he wasn't that important in this story. The next retainer that we met was Kanjuro the Ghoul of Kibi, and his hobby, I believe, was to cut people's hair, just like that, without a permission, which is weird, and he looked pretty evil, compared to how he looks right now in the present. He looks pretty much the same but a little bit different, so it was pretty cool to know how Oden met him, and he even tried to cut Oden's hair, which was pretty funny. But then he joined Oden on his journey throughout the Wano Kuni. Then we met Raizo, a former member of the Kuzuku clan's Oniwabanshu, and I think Oniwabanshu, from what I've read, is a secret undercover agency, established by the 8th Tokugawa shogun. That's something that I just read on the internet, which I think was pretty interesting. But yeah, man, I think we've met all of the members of the Akazaya 9 except Darkstorm, Nekamamushi, and Ashura Doji, which I think we're gonna meet in next week's episode, man. But yeah, it was a great episode. I really liked it a lot. Let me know what you thought about this week's episode in the comments down below, and let me know what you think is gonna happen next. I do One Piece reviews every Saturday, so subscribe for that. But I also do other anime related things like Boruto Naruto Next Generation reviews on Sunday mornings, Attack on Titan the final season on Sundays, Black Clover reviews on Tuesdays, Dr. Stone and the Promised Neverland reviews on Thursdays, and then Jujutsu Kaisen reviews on Fridays. So subscribe for that. Like, comment, subscribe. It would help my channel a lot, and follow me at Anime Specialist on Twitter and Instagram, man. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Anime Specialist out. Peace.